Hi guys and girls, today I bring to you a video about our idea for KVK. So, as you're aware, we trampled the enemy last time, and that's great. However, there was no real challenge, and we could kind of just do what we please. In the future, it's not going to be like that. And even with the ability to do as we please, it was still quite expensive, really. Like, we can't keep doing it like that every KVK. So, I want to talk to you about this formation that I have set up. It's a very defensive formation. Admittedly, it's not really the most fun way of playing. However, depending on our enemy and what they try to do against us, we could have a lot of fun with it anyway. So, what we have set up here is the middle three players, the Arbiter, CPQ, and Arby's KG. Those three are the rally leaders for any given situation. The person in the middle will be responsible for holding the castles during the KVK event. They're going to do that without sending a lord. If the castles are rallied against, we'll withdraw that castle and then we'll set a rally against it with the lord. Always got to fight with the lord. The 4 spots surrounding, you can see I have encampments in 3 of them, Yoriko's in the other. We'll have stronger players between 60 to 80 million, players that have, quite strong researchers, 1 million plus troops. These players are going to be the people that help to fill up the castles that we occupy. Now, we get a lot of points from occupying the castle, so I think that should be one of our first standpoints to focus on in the KVK. From there, we can look at other means of collecting points as well, but this formation is specifically designed for holding the castles and protecting ourselves. So, yeah, 3 rally leaders, 4 people to fill the rallies, and then they're surrounded by 1 square boundary of players that will gather. Now, these players need to be able to empty their castles and not have any troops in them. The whole formation will be unbubbled, so it will look like we're vulnerable. So while those players are out gathering, if someone was to teleport in, try to attack us, if they were to attack the outer ring, there will be nothing to gain from that. If they try to attack one of these inner players, one of the 4, then we'll have the ability, the rally leaders, as well as the other 3, to reinforce them with their frontline troop type. Now, this is very important, because if we reinforce each other with the other person's frontline troop type, and that's dependent on the formation that they use, then we can essentially share hospital capacity. So, for example, if I've got 200,000 hospital capacity, Yoriko is under attack, I reinforce him with, let's assume his formation is infantry cavalry formation, I reinforce him with infantry, and then the player hits him. Now, both my troops and Yoriko troops are going to take damage, because we're both fighting in the front line. And we're going to share the wounded between the two of us. Because we're on the defense, so long as we have enough hospitals, they'll all go to hospital. Now, each of these players in the center should have a level 25 embassy. Well, I will make sure that they have a level 25 embassy, which essentially means they can have 1 million reinforcement capacity. Now, that's quite powerful on its own. So if we're sharing 1 million reinforcements, and we're all reinforcing with our hospital capacity, then we have over 1 million troops that can get wounded before we start taking deaths. And we have the ability to share the cost of healing speed ups between all the people reinforcing. So it's going to require for us to get to know each other and know what formations we're using. As you probably just noticed, I am unaware as to what formation Yoriko uses for his defense. So right now, it's not possible for me to defend him with his frontline troop type because I don't know what it is. But these are things we need to start asking each other so that we can be aware of what our players are using. So let's give another example. The enemy team's quite coordinated. They teleport in beside us, and they start a rally on us. Now this is kind of ideal for us, because if they start a rally on us, on any one of our players, if it's on someone who's gathering, we don't have to worry about the rally. We don't have to worry about defending the rally. If it's on one of our people on the inner, they need to recall all their troops from wherever their troops are and get them home before the rally hits them. And then the other players on the inner need to send a regiment to reinforce them of the frontline troop type. Now, as I said before, if we're sharing, 1 million plus hospital capacity, then essentially we should be able to get the better of our enemy in a rally, depending on who the enemy is. Now, with that being said, if they're rallying on one of our players, they will be using their lord, because you always use your lord to attack. Now, if their lord is in the rally, then their lord is not at home defending. This gives us the opportunity for one of our rally leaders straight away to set a rally against that player, or simply single attack that player while his lord is in the rally. So it then makes him vulnerable to us zeroing him and fighting the battle when his lord is not at home, his or her lord. So yeah, there's many ways that it can work out advantageous when the enemy is trying to attack us and we fight on a defensive side rather than trying to go and attack the enemy. If, for example, a player is rallied against, they need to remain calm, get their troops home, and keep their lord at home ready to fight the battle. Because if we're fighting a battle from the enemy and their lord is attacking one of our players and that player has a lord fighting, and then we're also attacking the player holding the rally but that player doesn't have a lord fighting, we will get the better of our enemy in any given circumstance. So that's what we need to focus on, and it doesn't really matter how big they are. They could be 400 million, 300 million. If they don't have a lord at home, those troops are not very strong. The lord accounts for many hundreds of percents of military statistics. So it's very important that the Lord fights the battle, taking advantage of when the enemy does not have its Lord at home is a great place to start, especially when fighting. Now, the other reason that the hive is set up like this, and you're probably wondering why it's got this kind of oblong shape that I've set up, and I'll explain that now, is that, and .vip told me it's because the map is rectangle, which I don't understand, because we look at the squares and they all look the same size. They're squares. They're not little rectangles. But apparently, because the map is rectangle, it turns out that it's quicker to march north and south than it is east and west. So if I click on Arbiter Farm here, directly north of me, I go attack, you'll see here my marching time is 7 seconds. Now if I close that, and I go to Scooby-Doo right here, and I go attack, you'll see that the marching time is double, is 14 seconds. Now this creates an oval area of which we can take advantage of. Same with attacking diagonally. Okay, it's 7 seconds again. For some people it's less. If I go on the bottom diagonal, it's 10 seconds. So it's actually very, pretty, what's the word? Inconsistent. Which way is the marching speed. As you see here, if I go diagonally south, it takes an extra 3 seconds than if I was to go diagonally north. Apparently, northeast, northwest, north on its own, all only take 7 seconds to march to. East and west take 12 seconds. Southeast and southwest take 10 seconds. And marching directly south also takes 7 seconds. So that's something to think about when you're moving around trying to attack someone. Do take into account the march times. So, if an enemy tries to land here and it's deceptive because they think that they're right beside one of the larger players and they might be able to get an easy hit, they actually have double the marching time than if they were to be able to land right underneath the person or above them. Even if they land over here, they've still got a longer marching time. They have the same marching time if they were to land in this location, despite the looks of it. So this should give us time to be able to react in any given situation. And we may have to use speed ups, but it will be a matter of using one speed up rather than clicking the button repeatedly to try and get us there as quickly as possible. So it's going to require people to be highly active, and the formation requires 19 players. The players in the formation need to be active and they need to be aware of the hive mentality. Reinforce with frontline troop types. Be ready to set rallies. If a smaller player tries to attack one of our farming castles, our larger players can use the garrison feature, this one here, to fight the battle on their behalf and use their statistics to do so. So I want people to think about the different possibilities and how this could play out. If you do think of anything that I haven't mentioned in the video, please come to me and tell me how we could use that, because I'd be quite interested. But I think this is a very good defensive, conservative way to play the kingdom versus kingdom and ensure a good amount of points, as well as the integrity of our so far constructions being maintained. Alright, well, thanks for listening.